We are learning about systems of linear inequalities. We're going to be graphing today. So I know I've got this when I can solve a system of linear inequalities and use mathematical models involving linear inequalities. Now, when you solve a system of linear inequalities, the actual solution is the portion of the graph that's shaded. So key vocabulary is system of linear inequalities, solution, and corner point. The corner point is the point at which the two boundary lines intersect. Two or more equations make a system of linear equations. Two or more inequalities make a system of linear inequalities. A solution of a system of linear inequalities is an ordered pair that satisfy each inequality in the system. So all of the solutions are the shaded region on the graph. So graph each inequality in the system, and the solutions of the system are the points common to the graphs of all inequalities in the system. All right, so let's try this. Okay, so I'm going to put both of these inequalities in slope-intercept form. Okay, so the very first one, 3x plus y is less than 0. I need to move the 3x to the other side and change that ink so you can see it a little better. So I've got y is less than negative 3x. That's the first one. The second one, I am going to subtract this 2x and then divide by the 5. So I get y is greater than or equal to negative 2/5 x plus 2. So we're going to see what that looks like, okay? So this first one, I'm going to graph negative 3x. So I'm going to start at 0, 0. I'm going to go down 3 over 1 or up 3 over 1. And I know that I'm going to be using a dotted line because it says less than, not less than or equal to. So let's see. I don't have a dotted line there. Let me use this one because this is a dotted line. Okay, so I'm going to start here and I'm going to have a dotted line. All right, now the next one, we're going to start at a positive 2. And I'm going to go down 2 over 5 or up 2 over 5 this way. And let me plot that graph with a dotted line. I'm sorry, with a solid line. That is a solid line because it says or equal to. So let's try this. There we go. Okay, now we have to see where to shade. So it is less than the pink line, so underneath the pink line, and it's greater than the blue line. So we would go, we're going to shade, let me get this. We're going to shade up below the pink line, so somewhere in this direction, but above the blue line. So where are those two intersections going to take place? They're going to take place right here. So this is the only region that you would actually shade, okay? I like to do the arrows, especially if you have more than one, so that you can see what it looks like. And then this is what it will look like in your book. So notice that, you know, red and blue make purple. So this is actually the only region that is shaded. Okay, let's do the second one. So graph the system of graph the solutions of the system. All right, so another way that we can graph, remember, is to plot the intercepts. Okay, so if I had to plot the intercepts of this graph, we would have negative 3 times 0 plus 4y is less than 12. Well, actually, you know what? I want to keep this straight and still do slope-intercept. I'm sorry. So negative 3x plus 4y is less than 12. So I'm going to add 3x to both sides and divide by the 4. So I have y is less than 3/4 x. So my y-intercept is at 0, and I go up 3 over 4. up 3/4. And then that is going to be a dotted line because it says less than. So I'm going to choose the dotted line and I'm going to plot it less than that, which means that it's going to be below that line. So I know that I'm going to be shading somewhere in this region because it's below, it's less than. Okay, the second one, x is greater than or equal to 2. That is going to be a solid line, and it's where x is greater than or equal to 2. So I know that that means that it has an undefined slope at 2. So it's where x is 2 and it's an undefined slope. So let's see this. I'm going to go through those points. I don't know how that's going to work. And there we go. Okay, so it says greater than that. So I know that that means it's above that, or to the, in this, it does mean it's to above, but since you have an undefined slope, you plot all the numbers greater than 2. Okay, so you look at where those arrows go together and your shaded region is right here. And there you go. Okay. All right, you go ahead and do this one. And the answer, when we plot it, should look like this. So the only region that you should have shaded is right here. All right. All right, go ahead and try this one. So pause. And you see again that the only area that you're shading is right here. All right, here's some extra practice for you to do. So go ahead and try those and I'll show you the answers on the next slide. And here you go. Those are the solutions of the graph. So I know I've got this where I can solve a system of linear inequalities, use mathematical models involving linear inequalities. Do you really understand? So explain how to use the graph to find a solution of system of linear inequalities. Graph each inequality, shading the appropriate half planes, then look for the region where the half planes overlap. The coordinates of the points in the region are the solutions of the system.